Fruity Pebbles, yabba dabba delicious.
Aloha, Big Kahuna. Teach me to hang ten.
My pleasure.
I'll hang close to these yummy pebbles.
Here's the caveman kickout. The Flintstone fly away.
The pebbles wipeout. Totally fruitular.
Barney, my pebbles.
Board will boogie.
Post Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Welcome, friends, to a quick niblet on Crept from the 80s. This is a nice little nugget, a little special, if you will. Quick little video of me showing my respect and love and adoration for a certain something that is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And I'm talking about Fruity Pebbles. Posts Fruity Pebbles, that's right, folks. Now let me tell you something. For this almost 44-year-old man, God, I can't believe it. So for me, these sugary cereals that we devoured and loved back in the day, it's a few and far between type of situation, because some things I just you can't handle them as much as you could back in the day. Now, you know, that may vary between person to person, but for me, you know, I just can't eat the nothing but sugar cereals that I had as a child. So being born in the 70s, growing up in the 80s, we had a plethora. We were, by the gods, we were gifted with so much sugary magic that, I mean, how could you choose? I mean, somebody like me, I had several different cereals in our little whirligig cupboard growing up in my house that I could choose from each morning. So I had, you know, it was, man, pick your own poison, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Some of those cereals that I loved, and sadly they no longer make, C-3POs, and the Gremlin cereal, Mr. T cereal, breakfast cereal, ice cream cone cereal, the original s'mores cereal, and then there's the tried and trues, you know what I'm saying? The tried and trues like Trix and Fruit Loops, and when it came out, Cinnamon Toast Crunch was huge, that type of thing. I loved Ghostbusters cereal. I loved the Turtles cereal, the Batman cereal. Ralston was a huge, you know, TV, movie to cereal brand. The Nintendo cereal, all that good stuff. Golden Grams was huge, and on occasion, I still enjoy Golden Grams. Now, and throughout the years, they changed a lot of the recipes. So as an adult, when I would try these things again, or if my son, I got them for my son, or my son picked them out at a certain point, I would try them again, and it wasn't the same. And sure enough, they changed a lot of the recipes. But now, you know, the last 4 or 5 years, they've really been going retro. A lot of these companies, and giving us older kids the original recipe, and letting the newer kids enjoy it how it used to be. So Trix did do that. Trix went back to their original recipe. Cocoa Puffs went back to their original recipe. And recently, Golden Grams went back to their original recipe. And look, they even got all retro and made the back all 80s magic, nostalgic, and everything. But I gotta tell you, 50 years of Fruity Pebbles, and you know, I'm on my 44th year, so I'm almost as old as Fruity Pebbles. Growing up, I wasn't the biggest Flintstones fan. You know, I watched it because it would be on reruns. It would come on after certain shows that I watch, and I'm a huge Hanna-Barbera fan, so I did watch a bunch of Hanna-Barbera. But the Flintstones, I don't know, I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like go gaga for it. However, all of the merchandising for a lot of these shows I ate up, and it was all over the place. And the Flintstones was no exception. It was Flintstones push-up pops, and we had the Flintstones vitamins, which, you know, I didn't care about the vitamin. I was just like, ooh, these are Flintstones candies. These are delicious. So, you know, those were big memories. And of course, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles. I love this cereal, and to this day, it's one of the cereals that I absolutely just still love. It's a cereal that, I tell you what, it's a cereal that you open up and you have that, you just take that whiff, and for me, it is like a instant time machine. It just propels me back to when I was growing up in the best decade of all, enjoying one of the greatest cereals of all time for me. And just regardless of the smell, when you put that to milk, put it in my mouth, my taste buds get to start dancing all up on those crisped rises. Whew. Nothing more. Sure, Golden Grams can do it. Sure, Fruity Pebbles can do it. Tricks. What else can do that to me? Lucky Charms. But even they changed that a little bit. But this, like Conan's dad says to Conan, this you can trust. Fruity Pebbles. 50 years of Fruity Pebbles. Now, as I said, I don't eat it as much as I did as a kid. It can really get my heart a-pumping. It's it's extremely unhealthy. Most of these like kid cereals, they're just straight up sugar. There's nothing healthy about them, but they are fun. They are just fun cereals. They are kid cereals, and it's what you do as a kid. You indulge. You know, you go a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You go a little crazy. Fruity Pebbles is no exception. You had those amazing, and I wish they still had them, but times are changing. I wish we still had a lot of shit that we did, but those Fruity Pebbles commercials back in the day, man, those 80s and early 90s Fruity Pebbles commercials were so good, and I still remember them to this day. And this cereal, I only really bust out when we are doing the Saturday morning sleepovers, which is, if you don't know what that is, look up Saturday morning sleepovers on my channel, and check out the videos and listen and love and get thick with it, because it's an experience. But we whip these types of cereals out on that day, and on those days we become 7, 8, 9 years old again, and it's a free-for-all. And yeah, I feel like I got hit by several dump trucks at the end of that Saturday morning sleepover. But it's a hell of a memory. It's so worth it, and it's like I said, an instant time machine. And this is one of those cereals that does it for me, man. Instant time machine, and it's amazing that it's been around for 50 years. And I'm sure it's going to be around for 50 more. What a legacy. What a legacy. Pure, unadulterated, fun kid nostalgia. Cereals, man. How crazy it can do it for you. Now, if they could only bring back Smurf Berry Crunch. Oh, Smurf Berry Crunch. That is a cereal that somehow, within the folds and creases and sinewy frame, within my body, somehow, I can still taste Smurf Berry Crunch. And I would love to physically taste Smurfberry Crunch once again. And we won't. The Smurfs aren't really a viable thing. I guess they did the new movies and whatnot and this and that, but it's, I don't know. I still love the Smurfs. Smurfs were a big part of me growing up, but that cereal, something really special about that cereal. But other than that, we got that Fruity Pebbles to take us back, folks. So give in celebration, give a tribute to the love and the magic and the passionate nostalgia of post-Fruity Pebbles. Let me know what's one of your special, magical, passionate cereals in the comments. What takes you back? What do you still eat from your childhood? Man, it just isn't the same. But I'm glad we have some of these, these steadfast cereals that are still with us to this day. And that are coming back and giving us those original retro flavors. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, the monster cereals. Of course, the monster cereals. The recipes have changed a little bit, but doesn't matter. Listen, folks, back in the day, it wasn't just a year, once a year thing. We had the monster cereals year round. So we could get the Boo Berries, and we could get the Frankenberries, and you're damn right we could get the Count Choculas, which is my favorite. But the flavor is different, but you can bet your sweet bippy that I still get it every year. But back in the day, it was a on the shelf all the time type of thing. Oh, so delicious! It all just takes you back. It's part of that happiness. It's part of the something that gives you that smile on your face. At least for me, it's part of my love of the 80s and nostalgia for the 80s, and the magic of the 80s is the breakfast cereals that we had as a kid, and that for some are still lucky enough to enjoy to this day. But us, mid 40s, 50s and above, moderation, folks, because that sugar is running through me like John Stamos running through all the women of Full House and Vanity and 86 and all that stuff. Anyway, so thank you for watching this quick little tribute episode to one of my favorite cereals, Post Fruity Pebbles. And we will see you on another pandemically erotic episode of It Crept from the 80s. Goodbye!